Most men tend to overlook something far more significant than they realize. What's interesting is that it's something women truly value, yet they rarely speak about it openly. Think about it for a second. You've likely come across men who seem to have everything in place. They're good-looking, confident, successful, and well-respected socially. Yet, despite all that, they struggle to form deep, meaningful connections with women. No matter how hard they try, something always feels missing, and they can't quite understand what it is. The reality is that attraction isn't built only on appearance, wealth, or status. While those factors may capture attention, they don't necessarily create emotional connection. What many men fail to recognize are the small, subtle behaviors that leave a lasting impression. These aren't grand gestures or flashy acts. They're quiet, often unnoticed actions that carry a powerful influence on how a woman feels about you. In this video, we're going to dive into some of the hidden desires women experience but rarely express directly. These aren't the usual dating tips you hear everywhere. Instead, they're grounded in psychology and timeless human behavior. When you genuinely understand these ideas and apply them properly, the way women perceive you can shift entirely. Now, imagine this for a moment. What if you could connect with a woman on such a deep level that even she couldn't fully explain it? What if you could naturally stand out without chasing attention, without constantly trying to impress, and without feeling the need to prove your worth, simply by knowing how to make her feel understood, valued, and emotionally safe? That alone would place you ahead of most men. And here's an uncomfortable truth. If you don't understand these deeper concepts, you're already at a disadvantage. You may miss opportunities for attraction that could have developed into something meaningful. You might lose connections that could have stayed in her mind long after you were gone. That's why understanding this is so important. And once these ideas truly settle in, especially the final one, your perspective on attraction and relationships may never be the same again. Before we move forward, here's a quick request. If you enjoy learning about relationships, human psychology, and emotional connection, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support allows us to continue creating content designed to help people better understand themselves and others. Now, let's move into the first idea, something most men seriously underestimate. The quiet power of physical touch before intimacy. Picture this. You're on a date with a woman. The environment feels relaxed. The conversation flows easily. You're both laughing and enjoying the moment, yet something feels slightly off. She's engaged and attentive, but emotionally she isn't fully open. Later, you send her a message, and nothing. No reply. This is where many men unknowingly lose momentum. Most assume attraction is built mainly through words. They focus on being funny, telling impressive stories, or trying to say everything perfectly. But women don't connect through conversation alone. They connect through emotions. They connect through the energy you bring into the interaction. Most importantly, they connect through how they feel when they're around you. One of the most overlooked ways to create that feeling is through calm, intentional physical touch, not rushed, not needy, and definitely not forced. It should always feel natural, respectful, and effortless. Even the smallest gesture, when done sincerely, can completely shift the emotional dynamic between two people. A light touch on her shoulder, a warm hug that lingers just a bit longer, a reassuring gesture at the right moment. These simple actions often communicate far more than words ever could. For many women, emotional safety carries more importance than physical attraction alone. Non-sexual physical touch sends a strong message without saying anything. It tells her you respect her boundaries. It shows that she can relax around you. And that sense of comfort is what allows real intimacy to develop. This isn't about memorizing techniques or trying to perform perfectly. It's about being present. It's about slowing down. And it's about paying attention to her responses. When you create an environment where she feels appreciated rather than pressured, everything begins to flow naturally. The men who leave the strongest emotional impact don't rush these moments. They don't try to control every interaction. Instead, they let things unfold at their own pace. They remain calm, grounded, and aware. They understand that genuine connection grows in an atmosphere of comfort and trust. When you carry yourself with that kind of calm confidence, you naturally become someone she feels safe around. And emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations of attraction. What's even more fascinating is that much of this happens beneath conscious awareness. When a woman feels emotionally comfortable with you, she naturally lowers her guard. Not because you convinced her or pressured her, but because your presence makes her feel secure. That feeling isn't created through big gestures or dramatic displays. It's built through consistency, through small, respectful actions repeated over time. The way you listen, the way you respond, the way you carry yourself. It all matters. Intentional physical touch, when it feels natural, reinforces that emotional security. It communicates confidence without aggression and interest without pressure. The key, however, is awareness. You must pay attention to how she responds. Does she relax? Does she move closer? Or does she need more space? Respecting those signals is what separates a man who truly understands connection from one who is simply trying to impress. Patience is just as important. Many men rush because they fear losing the opportunity. But genuine attraction develops when there is no rush. When you stay present and allow emotions to unfold naturally, you create space for authentic feelings to grow. That's what makes a connection feel real. Another crucial element is emotional awareness. Many men focus entirely on what they are doing, but true connection comes from understanding what she is feeling. When you're emotionally aware, you notice subtle changes in her mood, body language, and energy. This allows you to respond naturally instead of forcing interactions. And that calm, steady presence is something many women rarely experience. It's also important to understand that restraint is attractive, not reacting impulsively, not rushing physical closeness, and not trying to force progress. These behaviors communicate confidence and self-control. When your actions are slow and intentional, they feel more genuine. They show that you're acting from clarity rather than desperation. Over time, these small moments build trust. Trust creates comfort, and comfort opens the door to deeper attraction. When a woman feels she can truly relax around you without pressure, she begins to associate your presence with emotional ease. And that feeling stays with her long after you've left. In the end, the man who leaves the strongest impression is often not the one who says the most, but the one who makes her feel the safest.